guys, I'm on a bit of a filming roll. I'm going to be doing another video for Channel Mum, and today's video is about routines. So Channel Mum have asked us to film about our routines and if we have a routine or if we don't have a routine and what our routines are. At a very early age, and I mean very early, well maybe not very early, 8 weeks I think, with Sebastian, we got him into a bedtime routine. I remember the health visitor coming over when he was really tiny and saying, once he's upstairs, that's it, he's up there. He doesn't come down for any reason. He's upstairs and it's kind of wind down time and then it's bed. And we have stuck to that. That has stuck with me, and we've stuck to that religiously, and touch wood, we've never had a problem getting him to bed. We've had issues, but never big issues. So Sebastian, obviously, after that was cluster feeding. So what I would do is I'd still do a bedtime routine. So we'd bring him upstairs. And when he was about 8 weeks old, we'd bath him and we'd put soft music on. I'd feed him and I'd put him down. And sometimes he would just want to feed and feed and feed, and I would just go upstairs and sit with him and feed and watch stuff on my phone, or we'd come upstairs together, me and Chris, and would watch telly upstairs in bed. Cluster fed really on the early days, but he never cluster fed massively after that actually. So I don't actually remember that being an issue. I don't ever remember being stuck upstairs for hours on end so much. Maybe throughout the night, but not so much through the evening, which is interesting because most of the time people do have that, like the witching hour, like right up until like longer than 12 weeks. But I maybe we did, I can't remember. So then as Sebastian got older, and as he got to the age where he would sort of stop cluster feeding, we would again just do the same thing. We'd take him upstairs at 7 o'clock, we'd bath him, we would towel dry him, we'd give him a bit of massage maybe, read him a story, and then we'd put him down to bed in his cot. That carried on until about 6 months, and then 6 months we moved him into his own room, and we carried on doing that, and then he'd only wake if he needed like a bottle in the night or something. He did start waking up a lot, but it was always because of his teeth, and this was a battle we had for months and months with Sebastian's teeth. He would wake up in so much pain, and quite often on those days I'd just bring him into bed with me. So he would always go up with that same routine and start the night with that routine, and then in the night he might get, I might bring him into bed with me. The same happened with naps. So as Sebastian got a bit older and started kind of developing a nap routine, I would kind of not be religious about it, but just make sure that he went down at like the kind of morning time between like, say, I don't know, 9:30 and 10, and then in the afternoon between like 1:30 and 2. Like we'd always make sure it was kind of in between then. Sebastian would nap anywhere, in the car, in the pram, usually on the sofa with me. He never ever napped in his cot though. I always kept that separate. I never ever wanted him to associate napping with being in his bed. That was for nighttime. I don't know why. No one told me that. That was just me. I just kind of got that in my head somewhere. And that again has worked really nicely. I don't think he would nap in his cot or bed now. And I don't really want him to. I like him to kind of I want him to be flexible, because if we're out and about and doing something, I want him to be able to nap wherever we are. And that has always, again, worked for us. He might nap like on the sofa or on me, or I'd nap with him. We'd kind of just work around that. And then as he got a bit older, now he kind of has a nap anytime between 10:30 and 12:30, and he'll nap he will sleep if he wants to for like 2 hours more, 2.5 hours, maybe even 3. But we usually only let him go to about 1.5 hours. At nursery, he has about an hour, because it does affect his kind of nighttime routine. Are we flexible with that? Yeah, we are. We're really flexible with it, on big events. But if someone invited me to lunch around nap time, I'd probably be likely to decline. But for big events and things, we're happy to like sway. Last night we went to a wedding and Sebastian just stayed up until like 9:30. He still woke up at the usual time he would wake if we put him to bed a few hours earlier. But it might just mean that he might take an earlier nap or something. So go with kind of what's right for Sebastian, but we do have a pretty strict routine. We also have a strict routine in the day, like on a Monday we do a certain group in the morning, and then he has his nap, and then we do a group in the afternoon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday he's at nursery, and then Friday again we have another group in the morning, and we have a group in the afternoon. As for noise as well, I remember when Sebastian was really young, like 4 or 5 weeks, Chris said to me, we shouldn't keep the TV too low, like don't make it all quiet, because his friend apparently had said that their child wakes at like the tiniest of noises. So from a very young age, we'd be watching Game of Thrones like really loud, and Sebastian would be just asleep next to us downstairs in the Moses basket. And even upstairs, we would never creep around him. We would always just have the telly on, or we'd never creeped around him. And again, Sebastian will sleep through anything. We can have a huge party here. We took him on holiday to Mexico when he was 1, and there was samba bands playing, and he was asleep in the pushchair. And you know, he just doesn't wake for anyone or anything or nobody. Once he is asleep, he is pretty asleep. You know, as I've said, he's never been the greatest of sleepers. We did have issues with his sleep, but it would always be because he wanted a bottle or because he was teething. It was never usually because he was playing up. So that's it. Let us know what your routine is, or do you have a routine or do you not have a routine? Some people I know are really flexible. They're not really kind of, you know, don't have, and that works for them. For me, a routine is really, really important, not just for Sebastian, but for myself. I know where I am, I know where I'm going, I know what's going to happen, and so it works really well. So that's it. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.